All right, welcome back to the Austin Film Festival. We are here with the cast, also the writers of Tiger. Thank you guys so much for coming in. We really appreciate having you here.
Thanks for having us.
Anybody been to Texas before? Not at all?
No.
First time.
First time.
Oh, the weather is like so nice right now.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Usually you can even drink the water here. It's,
yeah.
It's
yeah.
typically, very nice.
So I'm jealous because they got to have Texas barbecue. I didn't get to try it.
Coopers.
Oh, girl.
We went to Coopers.
Nice.
Yeah,
you went for the real one.
Yeah, Coopers are great.
All right, so how about Janelle? Why don't you give us a no spoilers synopsis about Tiger for our friends at home who haven't
I
gotten
get to give
see
the synopsis?
Yes.
Oh, I'm nervous. Okay.
The
The
My
non-writer
elevator
gets
pitch?
to give the synopsis.
My elevator pitch. Okay. This is a true story about Pardeep Nagra and his right to fight in boxing. He is told that he can no longer box because he has facial hair, and it is against his religion as a Sikh to cut his hair. So he fights it, and it's about his passion and him also kind of finding his voice as well. How'd I do, you guys?
Yeah.
That's nerve-wracking because I'm saying it in front of the writers. Yeah? You want to make the film? Great.
Yeah.
So, okay, what attracted you guys as writers to this particular athlete and his story?
I saw this story first back in 1999, and I was just watching him give this interview. I had no idea who he was, and I think this news spanned across Canada and into the U.S. as well. And I found it very compelling about this guy just wanting to be normal, and he wanted to be just human. And I'm like, oh man, I mean, he's like, don't discriminate me for having a turban and beard. People think I'm from a different country because of the way I look, and I'm born here, and I listen to the same type of music, I eat the same type of food, I grew up with the same, type of people around me, so I'm just as, he's Canadian, so I'm just as Canadian. And I thought to myself, I'm like, wow, I kind of feel the same way, so I felt very close to this. And my dad, he has a turban and beard, and members of my family, and I see them go through this struggle all the time. And I felt, I think this would be such an amazing story to tell people. And then when we met in acting class, I kind of brought this story to him. We brought each other our respective stories, and he kind of gravitated towards Tiger, and he felt like, I think we should tell this story. And now we're here at the Austin Film Festival.
Yeah.
What about your perspective on it?
Yeah, like Prem said, he brought the story to me in acting class when we started writing it. I think the thing that was really special to me, that drew me to the story, was just learning about another person's point of view, and learning about this boy trying to become a man and trying to love himself before he could love others.
Sure.
And it's really a topical film, and I think what really drew me to it was all of that combined, and just hearing his passion about how strongly he believed in this. And I think from there it just felt like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Like love at first sight kind of thing, Yeah.
So Pardeep does make a brief appearance in the movie.
Yeah.
So how much did you guys get to talk to him? Like, how much of this was drawn from his memories, stuff that actually happened, and how much is kind of dramatic license?
No, this guy, I think 90% of it's truth.
He just brought it to you.
He brought it. He has.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he remembered pretty much everything, and he has this big booklet of newspaper articles, these clippings, and he really gave us. Yeah, he really gave us the opportunity. We sat with him for hours whenever we needed to. He was just always there, just ready to just feed us his experiences and his knowledge, and it just really helped us write the screenplay, and really bring in the true stories.
Mm-hmm. Now, okay, so you guys are playing Pardeep and Brian, who are kind of arch rivals in the movie, and so did you guys both just have to get in boxing shape for this? I mean, I guess you did. I mean, just to get through the filming of it, because it's very highly choreographed.
We trained as we were scripting, so we knew we wanted to play these roles. We knew we wanted to play Pardeep. I wanted to play Pardeep. We wanted to play Brian, and we said, listen, not many people are going to know who we are, or nobody's going to know who we are, and we got to really embody these characters. So when we're ready to go to camera, which we knew we were going to do eventually, that we had to convince producers, our director, Alistair Grierson, filmmakers, to know that nobody is going to do a better job than Michael and I in this film as these characters.
All right, so when did your director come on board? And Janelle, when did you come on board? Like, how did you guys all meet?
You go first.
Janelle came last minute, and she's so talented. No, you really are. She's
Well,
so,
somebody had to make the movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. No, but she came on last minute, and she just embraced this character with all of her experience and knowledge, and she's so gifted and talented that it was just so easy, and it was so grateful to work with her. And she just picked up the script and she was on like that. So it was really fantastic to be able to learn from such a experienced actress, and I think she's great at what she does. And Alistair came on board maybe in April. And he really helped us get the script to where it was, because we wanted to make sure the captain of our ship was comfortable with directing something that he loved. Although we were the writers, and we had some pull. We're like, maybe it should go in this direction, or this act should have this arc, and he totally took our word for it, and we worked through those beats. But
it's hard to let go for the director.
It is, but we were we trusted him. We still do, and he's so gifted as well. And I think we were just really fortunate and lucky to have him on board to really guide us and the whole cast and the writers into Tiger and what it is.
Yeah, and talk about your dream casting. When did Mickey come on board?
Mickey came on board. So he stalked them.
No. I think there's a story here.
That's the story. The story.
The look is the story.
The rumor that started by Michael is that I stalked,
quote unquote.
Mickey Rourke, okay, and I don't condone it. I'm totally against it.
You were proactive.
I was.
Yes.
I just found out where he trained, and we kind of went in the morning to Wildcard Boxing, and we spoke to Freddie Roach, and he was so supportive, and he says, "Oh, you guys are doing a boxing movie?" And we're like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Yeah, Mickey was a boxer," and we're like, "No way," right? So, yeah, and we
Was he?
Yeah,
And he trains here? What?
yeah, and we met up with Mickey, and we spent like 5-6 hours in the gym that day, and we met up with Mickey, and 45 minutes later, the rest was history.
Yeah. It's so cool to see him in a role where he's been a fighter, he's played a fighter, he's always been kind of the tough guy roles, and to see him really turn that around as to someone who's taken that full journey that was really interesting to me as a movie fan.
Well, that's awesome, thank you. And I think that's why we really did it, right? We wrote the script for Mickey, and we knew he was a boxer, and we knew he went through this whole, he stopped acting to box. And I think that was really important to us, is like, okay, look, this guy's such a legend in his craft, and he comes with such a raw, grounded performance in everything he does. He would be fantastic for this. And we really wrote it for him.
But it's everybody's roles, right? I mean, when you see Mickey, right? People see Mickey, they'll see what he's done facially. When you see the film and you see what he brings to the table is truly remarkable for someone like that. And even what Michael brings to the table, what Janelle brings to the table. I mean, this was something night and day compared to what she's doing.
Yeah, American audiences know you for very different roles than this one.
Yeah, I guess so. As the villain usually. No, I think all of us, I was just saying this, I think that this entire cast, I think we created something special because we all believed in it so much. We were all so happy to be telling this amazing, empowering story, that we put our hearts and souls into it. And when we showed up for work, we were so ready and so present with each other when we were filming our scenes, and we're just feeding off of each other and playing and discovering things through the scenes. And I think that's kind of like where the magic happens. And after a scene, we'd be like, "Oh my God, that felt so great," and it feels good to go to work every day and have that feeling like we're creating something that's really powerful, and this is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask you, how did you, I mean, obviously making a movie is going to be an emotionally and physically exhausting experience anyway, especially if you're also the screenwriter. But dealing with things on screen that really did happen to someone, and that you and your family have had to look at your entire lives. I mean, how did you keep yourself emotionally safe when you're walking through this?
You can't. You have to walk through the wall of fire. You have to understand the realities. This is actually happening in the world today. But to know that by doing this that we can make a difference, somebody's got to do it. And we all of us stepped forward in doing this. We talk about diversity. We talk about what we could bring to the table to the audiences. And I think it's great listening to it, but I really believe that we have to start doing something about it. And I don't think we have a more diverse cast than what we have right now. And I think that I'm very proud of what we've done with the film, and I'm very proud of the way we've done it. We stuck to our guns. People have told us nobody's ever going to want to watch this film. People have told us nobody's.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, we've gotten that, and to know that we've gotten audiences appreciating it through the festival circuit, especially here at Austin, it's very rewarding to see that, and to know that we can have such a diverse cast, and to show people that, listen, it's great, we're talking about it, but we're also trying to do something about it. So I think that's very important.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, it's amazing that you guys are bringing this right now, when over the past 1 or 2 years, really, so many American athletes. I mean, I know that originally Pardeep was Canadian, but in the movie you made a choice to set it in the U.S. We should talk about that too.
Sure.
But a lot of American athletes are coming under fire for their political and social stances.
Yeah, no, I think we touched on this a lot, actually, like Colin Kaepernick.
Sure.
He kneeled for what he believed in, and at times it probably felt like the world was against him. He couldn't get signed, he got backlash, he probably felt like he was being backed into a dark corner, as Pardeep Nagra has done. But we are so lucky to be able to speak and to stand up for what we believe in, like Colin Kaepernick. In this country, we're allowed to do so, and like you said, it just comes a full circle. Now he's the face of Nike. He's getting scouted by 3 or 4 NFL teams. People are behind him and encouraging him and others to stand up for what they believe in. So it's really remarkable for these athletes and actresses or actors or whomever to use their platform to speak about something greater than what they're currently doing. And just as Pardeep Nagra has done, just as Colin Kaepernick and many others have done, I think it's very, very important to use your platform to speak about what truly matters in this world.
I thought some of the really small touches that you slipped in there were amazing. There's a scene where somebody tosses a grocery store razor at Pardeep. He's like, what am I supposed to do with this? Well, go build a bridge with it. And it really, I thought, was a good and a subtle way to shine a light on, I can't speak to Canada, but within the U.S., really the imperative is kind of shoved on persons of color to if you want us to get along, you do something about it.
That's right.
And
it
accommodate me.
That's right. And it happens not just in the U.S., but in Canada, all over the world. This is happening. And with boxing, Pardeep passed legislation throughout Canada, so you're allowed to fight with your articles of faith in the boxing ring. So he was the main guy to really push that envelope forward. We're still going through struggles here in the U.S. about the same issue. There's a kid who wants to box, and they're shoving a razor in his face saying shave.
Yeah.
You have to now bow down to our rules. But as we were saying in past interviews, and what we kind of discussed is that the world is evolving, so everything has to evolve as well. We believe that the U.S. and other countries are becoming more diverse and more open-minded and allowing others to speak about what truly matters to them. And I think a lot of these legislations and a lot of these commissions have to kind of bow down to what we believe in. And I think making content like this helps promote that change.
Yeah. And another thing that it kind of touches on, there's a really lovely scene between Pardeep and his uncle that is very, very, yes, it's heartrending. It's wonderful. And it comes so soon after the scene where Pardeep almost breaks. He almost goes to cut his beard, and you just see two sides of that, this inner shame. On one hand feeling ashamed that, why can't I just do this one thing that they ask and go ahead and shave my beard, and he's angry at himself. And then his uncle, you find, has been harboring this deep-seated shame for, no, I did bow to what they say. I took off my turban, I shaved my beard, I've cut my hair. So how did you... you brought that to the script, and then you brought it to the screen.
That's because that's reality, right? I'm Sikh. I don't have a turban. I don't have a beard. I was just born. My parents chose for me not to have it growing up because they felt that I would have probably went through that because they went through that. So they felt that, okay, I don't want that for my son. And to each his own when it comes to these decisions that they need to make in their life. And like Pardeep's uncle says, I did it to feed my family. And to a lot of people, when they're standing outside, whether they view this film any way they want, when they see just the subject matter about it, well, it's just hair. Just cut it. You can always grow it back. But what's important to you? Every single person in their life has something that's very significant, whether you're outspoken about it or you're not. But there's something very that is close to you. And if somebody asked you to change that, would you do it? And I guarantee you, at least 99%, 100 of those people either would have to think 3 times before they would do it. And this is the message we wanted to send people. This is not about a guy with a turban and beard. It's not just about that. It's about people that are struggling every single day with whether it's their identity, whether it's them coming out, whether there's a bunch of things. So you don't have to be Sikh or South Asian to understand what Pardeep's going through. Stand back and look at the big picture. To other people, it's just hair, but to him, it was something so important to him because he grew up with that. So we want to kind of send that message to say, listen, even if you're struggling with something and it's really important to you, you got to go through it. And you have to go through what Pardeep went through, and you will be accepted because that's exactly what you want and you will get it.
Yeah. And there's a behind the gloves featurette that we see glimpses of throughout, and that kind of gives us more of a guidebook, I guess, on Pardeep's personal journey from when we first meet him at the Olympic trials for soccer. Clearly a very talented athlete, but also someone who, we see him immediately get enraged on the soccer field over something that is 100% okay to be upset about, but we see how it jeopardizes his chances.
That's right. Yeah, I think there's a way of handling any sort of business. Whether sometimes with Pardeep, for instance, it's his anger that really gets the worst or the best or the worst. What's the saying? Is the best or
in this case it brought the worst
out of him because he became so angry at everybody else. And I think what truly was important is that he, at the end of the day, he was just angry of himself because he wasn't happy with who he was. And I think the way you handle your own issues in your own business is extremely important. So when we say fight for your rights, we don't physically mean load up and start swinging. We just feel, you stand up for what you truly believe in the ways of doing so, in the legal ways of doing so.
Yeah, she says it. Charlotte, she said it the best when she goes, "You just."
When I was
in the courtroom, right before we went into
when I say that you have so much to. You have so much to offer, but you can't see it for yourself.
That's right.
And you're like, I want to fight. I want to fight too. So you have your own battle as well, right?
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that I really liked about Charlotte is that she, when she takes on his case, it's work for her. But she slowly falls in love with his fight and his passion, and in time, his fight kind of becomes her fight. And so, yeah, that's a good point. Like that line where he says, "I just want to fight," and she says, "Me too." And how she takes that on, and she wants to win. She wants to win this battle for him, but also for herself and for everybody.
Yeah. There was another theme that I kind of saw through there, and I definitely want to get, as the female lead and really one of the only female characters in here, kind of this theme of toxic masculinity that leaks through. And you also see a lot of that in the interactions between Pardeep and Brian, his rival. And I guess I saw Charlotte's character is kind of affected by that as well, because she's had people in her life that have bought into that idea of flash and status and, reputation. And that's affected her. She's had to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you definitely hit the nail on the head. And I think she definitely is, I think she comes from kind of a broken family. You get little flashes that she possibly was estranged from her father and, kind of is working on the relationship and also her relationship with Brian. And I think she is just drawn to how gentle Pardeep is, gentle and genuine and kind, and his willingness to fight no matter what for what he believes in. And I think it brings out a softness in her, and it brings out a softness in Frank Donovan as well. In the movie, you see him kind of open up to Pardeep and make himself vulnerable and talk about how, he became so, wrapped up in fighting that he kind of lost focus of what was real and his family and loving himself. And you see him really soften up. And I think that's, everyone is very affected by Pardeep's passion.
So, has Pardeep gotten to see the movie yet?
Yeah, he saw the film and he's very proud of it. So that's half the battle is won there. So he's
really nervous. He was nervous about it though.
He was.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was totally. The first time he watched the film, he was really nervous because we had a private screening in Toronto, and he brought the close people to him to the screening to see what they thought. You could really tell he was really nervous, but I think the overwhelming positive feedback that we got really made him just kind of ease out, and he loved it. He loved it, and he loved this guy too because he does such a remarkable job really portraying him. So he was floored. He was really, really happy about it.
So what's the next steps for Tiger? What's the journey?
The journey, I think it ends or begins on November 30th. We're going to theaters in LA, New York.
Nice.
And I think it expands from there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, guys. I really enjoyed it. You guys seem like you enjoyed making it.
Yeah,
we
had
did.
so much fun
What a
together.
journey this was.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you guys come back to Austin. We'll totally have drinkable water for you next time.
Amazing.
And have a lot of fun while you're here.
Thank you guys. Thank you.